Before we go into the main lesson, let's go through a recap first. And this is something that you have already learned in your previous classes. That is, if you want to find out a square root of a perfect square number, we would develop or we would construct that number into products of two integers of the same values. For example, if you want to find out the square root of 4. So we want to find out a square root of 4. And we know very well that 2 times 2 is equal to 4, and such that square root of 4 is equal to square root of 2 times 2. Or we can also write that as square root of 2 squared. So when we have a square root of a number that is square inside it, that is basically equal to that value. So in this case, square root of 2 squared is equal to 2. Likewise, if you want to find out the square root of 81, and we know very well that 9 times 9 is equal to 81. And as such, square root of 81, that is equal to square root of 9 times 9, equal to square root of 9 squared, and that is basically equal to 9. And the third example for this recap would be a square root of 225. And 15 times 15 is equal to 225. And as such, square root of 225, that is equal to square root of 15 times 15, or equal to square root of 15 squared. So this is basically equal to 15. But to do this, we need to memorize or at least be intimate about the value of a perfect square. Can you name some perfect square numbers from 1 to 100? Let's do that together. Okay, the first one would be 1. And 1 is basically 1 squared. The second number would be 4. And 4 is basically 2 squared. Why don't we do this together? Take a piece of paper and try to write the next number that is a perfect square. What is a perfect square after number 4? That is definitely 9. So 9 is equal to 3 squared. Next is 16. 16 is 4 squared. And then 25. 25 is 5 squared. Next would be 36. 36 is 6 squared. 49, which is 7 squared. 64, which is 8 squared. 81, which is 9 squared. And finally, 100, which is 10 squared. We generally understand that if a equal to b squared, then square root of a would be equal to b. So let's revisit the exercise that we have done in the early part of this video, which is square root of 4 that is equal to 2. Because why? Because 4 is equal to 2 squared. Then square root of 81 that is equal to 9. And square root of 225 is equal to 15. But let's do not forget that there is one other part that we need to take care of, which is square root of 4 is also equal to square root of minus 2 times minus 2, or equal to square root of minus 2 squared. So that means square root of 4 could also be equal to minus 2. Likewise, for square root of 81, square root of 81, that it could also be a product of square root of minus 9 times minus 9, which makes it that is equal to square root of minus 9 squared, or that is equal to minus 9. And then square root of 225, that is equal to square root of minus 15 times minus 15, or square root of minus 15 squared. Okay, that would make square root of 225 to be equal to minus 15. So from this exercise, then we know that a square root of a number, either they are perfect square or any numbers at all, there could be a positive and negative numbers to it. But for the rest of this lesson, we are going to take a look at the square root that is of positive values only. And remember, we are taking a look at the perfect square just now, but we could also use the square root of perfect square to determine square root of a decimal number. So that is the topic of the next video. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.